Welcome to my channel once again. Today we are going to look at immunity. So therefore, immunity is the ability of the body to recognize, resist, and eliminate harmful substances such as microorganisms, example being bacteria, virus, and fungi. Then we have toxins and foreign materials. So specifically, what the immune system does is that it involves in defense, protection, and some has memory to be able to recognize previous attacks. Classification of immunity. Immunity is divided into the innate, also known as natural, native, or non-specific immunity. This name comes as a result of the definition of this type of immunity. Then the second one being acquired immunity, also known as adaptive or specific immunity. So the innate immunity is inborn, non-specific defense mechanism present from birth that provide immediate protection against infection without prior exposure. So this class of immunity actually is available from birth. So technically, it doesn't need exposure to any other previous attack to function. It's already made from birth and provide a defensive wall against microorganisms, toxins, and foreign materials. And then the key characteristics of this immunity is that they are present at birth and then they are non-specific. So that means against any pathogen, they have the same defensive ability. They are immediate in response because already they are actually inborn directly from birth. Then they have no immunological memory, so they don't keep any memory based on previous or prior exposures. With the innate immunity has other subdivision or types we need to look at. So you have species immunity. So here it refers to a resistance to certain diseases that is common to all members of a species due to genetic and physiological differences. Example, humans are resistant to many animal diseases. Then animals do not also easily contract some human infections. So here is specifically based on species class of different organisms, like humans being the Homo sapiens are able to resist certain diseases from animals. Then animals are also able to resist certain disease from humans, stating that species immunity is valid. So here the species genetically gives you an immunity against other conditions from other different organisms or living organism in the environment. Two, we have racial immunity. So here this is the variation in resistance to disease among different racial or ethnic groups due to genetic factors. Examples, some populations show resistance to certain infection, and then genetic traits may offer protection against specific disease. So races such as people being the whites and the blacks. So there are certain conditions are more prevalent among the whites than the blacks, and some conditions are more prevalent among the blacks than the white. So this is the racial immunity where race plays a factor giving a genetic immunity against disease compared to other races and other ethnic groups. So the last set narrowed down to individual immunity. So here this is the natural resistance that varies from person to person within the same species. Example, one person exposed to infection does not fall sick while the other does. And then strong immunity due to good nutrition and health status actually boost individual immunity. So with individual immunity, you can take an example. You can be in a family, the same blood, but one individual in that same family may be having malaria parasites about 10, and the person will look like he's about to die, and then someone having 100 to 200 malaria parasites and the person is fit as if nothing is going on. That is just a typical example of individual immunity. This is the body's ability to resist certain infections that suppresses the immune system at a point in time, and it varies. Sometimes due to the ability that the individual has good nutrition and then takes good care of himself, so already the body is fully fit and able to address any threat invading the system. So let's look at some example of innate immunity in humans. We have classification from different books, but here is mine I'm able to compile. So we have physical barriers such as the skin and the mucous membrane that prevents entry of microbes into the body. Then we have chemical barriers such as the stomach acid that destroy ingested microbes, Ts that contain lysozyme that kills bacteria. We also have mechanical defenses such as coughing and sneezing to remove irritants, and cilia in the respiratory tract that moves mucuses upward and then allows you to eliminate it or expel it out. Example, that's expelled through sneezing. Then we have cellular defenses, specifically the fungicide that engulfs pathogens, and then the neutrophils that destroy bacteria. We also have inflammatory responses such as redness, heat, and swelling after injury. All these actually prevent infiltration of microorganisms or disease-causing microorganisms into the body. So that's all for the day. Thank you for your time. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.